how do I actually address my needs and desires when it comes to intimacy in general in relationship without my partner being triggered or defensive? There are two main things to say about it. One thing is, and you might not want to hear this, you are not responsible for your partner's feelings. Stop managing or wanting to manage the feelings of your partner. What does this mean? You can, and this comes then probably back to point, or we lead to back to, but it comes back to how do you address things? This is what you can control. Yet not tipping and tiptoeing and dancing around, okay, how can I address this? That he does not this. Oh my God, there's so much distortion energy. And I talk about this like this because I've been there several times. So I know 100% how this feels. So you want to address something, what you truly desire, what is your need, and you want to be with your partner. And knowing he probably will react like this, being an ego, trigger, defensive, offending. So you don't want this, and you are not responsible for this. You can't manage the other's feelings. You can, but this is definitely distortion. So stop managing the other one's feelings. Take yourself serious enough that your needs and desires won't leave you. They are there for a reason, and they are important to address when you want to be and keep being with your partner. So you don't want to suppress your stuff. And this is the issue you are having here right now. How can I address this that my partner is not? This is not the question. The question is, okay, I'm going there and saying like, hey, darling, from the deepest of my heart, I want to address something. When do you have half an hour that we can talk about something? Then you sit down. So you give him the chance to say, okay, then and then. So you don't run into it and say like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And maybe he's in the head, he's in business, he is with this, he's stressed, he's tired. So obviously you want to make sure that he knows, okay, my partner wants to address something to me. When can we make time and space for it? You can say, it's something what doesn't feel easy to me to express right now. My heartbeat races, like
And I
it's
fear,
something vulnerable.
and I fear how you will react. So be honest,
Yeah.
like how you feel. Like I fear how you are gonna react,
Yeah.
and that's why it's being challenging, or you can say difficult for me to express. You can
Yeah,
also say that.
exactly. It doesn't feel easy because actually I'm a bit afraid of your reaction. So you opened the door of transparency and openness and
Well, in
vulnerability.
there can be already a trigger. Like when you say to the man,
Yeah.
"I can feel your reaction." He's like, "What?" No, you he can already react, but depending on how you say it, it's the tone you use. But actually, even if you control how you say it and you do it perfectly, you cannot control how the other person will react because that depends on his story and his past experiences, his childhood. Maybe you are bringing up an experience from the past when his mother said something to him in a way. And I mean, this happens a lot of times, especially with myself, when Tina says something and I'm like, oh, I did something wrong. This is my stories. We work on that through vulnerability, compassion, and honest communication, right?
Totally open, honest, transparent, and compassionate.
So you were saying that you were sitting down, hey, I want to talk with you. Then you get, and then you say, hey, this is actually hard for me, but this is something that is coming from, I don't know what you were saying. And then I feel your reaction. So what else?
The thing is, what is included in this kind of conversation is how do you each other support regarding your needs and desires, and which values are you carrying together as a couple? This is one thing we start teaching in our connection intimacy code in the beginning. It's one of the first exercises you do, that you sit down as a couple and ask yourself again, what are actually my individual values? So let's match these values from both. And are we having the same priorities? Are our values the same in the same priorities? When, for example, honesty, connection, intimacy, adventure, passion, whatever, like tons of values.
Or in this case, are we on the same list of priorities, or is it equally important for us, which would be also the values, supporting each other's on their needs and desires without suppressing our own needs and desires. So yes, as a man, I love supporting my wife on her needs and her desires, taking care of her. But I don't have to forget my truth, myself, me as a man, right? So that's very important, right? But we have to communicate that with our partner. Are we both on the same boat that we want the best for our partner? Are we on the same boat that we want to support each other's needs and desires? Because if that question is a yes and it's solved, then when we come into these kind of conversations about that can be a little bit more challenging because of the triggers and so on, then we already have a base and we all have already talked about this. Like, and maybe that's the conversation that has to start before even talking about your needs and desires, is making sure that the priorities are the same, the values are the same, and we are on the same boat about talking about this. Because if you have that conversation that is more easy and doesn't require so much triggers, it's just about, hey, it's very mental, right? Do we want this or not? Because if we don't have that conversation, then of course it's going to be challenging, to talk about these topics, because it's not the same value. So that's why one of the most important things that we can do, and that's what something the first exercise that we do, is get down and write your values, write your priority list, and check in with your partner.
Do you have the same vision? Do you actually want the same in life for each other? Like, are you both in for growing, evolving, changing, and supporting the other in this? Because we are ever evolving beings. So, this is the first thing to talk about, to then make sure, can I simply address my needs and desires? From our perspective, it should be something very normal and very, let's say, easy, because this is why you are there together. So the question, how can I address it without my partner being defensive or triggered, is already managing the other's feelings. And we don't want this in a healthy, vibrant, beautiful, nourishing relationship. This should be not on the table. So maybe we hope that something was in there for you. If you still have a question about it, please let us a comment, because we love seeing your individual stories and ways to bring back all of these flowiness and juice we offer in our Red and Lola offerings. So you can check them out on the website. If you're not yet sure what is for you, you can also schedule a free call with us, and